Oops. Afternoon, everyone. I hope you are well today. I've noticed my screen's just frozen. I hope you can see me okay. I'm just going to close something, 2 seconds. Right, okay, that should make it a bit faster. Anyway, I hope everyone's well today. My last show was, I think it was Monday. I think I covered the Ipswich game. This is just a basic catch-up, just latest news. I was on Anfield Road TV last night, and we kind of went over a couple of things that I'm probably going to cover today, but I'm going to do it on my own channel. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. I'm on the road to 500, as you can see below. And obviously the road to 500 means that I can be monetized. If I get to 500, which is obviously great. It means I've got more options. I think I've got like chats and super chats and things like that that I can have, and I can also make my videos better. And I've got more options with YouTube Studio if I get to 500, which would be great, to add more things in. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Ready, Steady, Cook. Welcome to the channel as a subscriber. Lovely to have you on board. So what I wanted to go through today really is I wanted to go through all the latest rumours, also potential outgoings. I also wanted to cover some of the news that we've seen around some of our players in Gomez, Salah, Bobby Clark, also Seth van der Berg, also Reece Williams, Stefan Bacesic. There's a couple of other things as well which I wanted to kind of cover off. Darwin Núñez as well. Interesting conversation we can probably have around him. I also want to talk about some of the media talk, which basically is talking about a potential 4 major signings incoming in the next 10 days, which I also want to talk about potentially who they could be. Also, massive thanks, Whiz Kid. Welcome to the channel. I've got 34 of you in here. If anyone wants to just say hello to the new subscribers, that would be great. Want to grow the family. I know I get a lot of people who watch my show but don't actually subscribe. That's fine. You know, you can watch my show, but if you are watching, just please hit the like button. Apparently it does something. I don't know what, but it does something. So what I wanted to cover off now is I wanted to have a look at our squad in general, because it's kind of shrunk a bit, if I'm honest. But what we also have to look at is our main competitors, who are Manchester City, have only got 19 players, 19 squad players, and 2 of them are injured for probably most of the season. So they've got a pretty thin squad as well. But also, you have to look at Onslaught's team that he's had at Feyenoord and also AZ Alkmaar. He only had 17 first team players available, and the rest were under 21s or reserves. So he likes a small squad, which is funny that, because so did the previous manager. And there's an identity between both managers, which is obviously what we've looked at as what would work with Liverpool. So we're clearly not going to get a guy that's going to sign 47 players like Chelsea, and we're certainly not going to get a guy that's going to sign loads of old players like Man United in the past to like bulk up the squad. So a lot of the things kind of add up, like the same type of manager, the same type of, systems that they play, maybe as in the 4-3-3. And I think the biggest difference is for me is it looks like training and it looks like tactics, which is great because we needed some new ideas in training and we definitely needed some different tactics. So that's where we're at right now. Obviously, I covered in the previous show more about the Ipswich win, which is fantastic. Like, it was a great win. Um, Sorry about that. So what I'm going to cover off is the squad, what we've got now, what we potentially could have by the start of the season if we don't sign anyone, but that's a big if. Um, and also some of the latest rumours. Okay, so first of all, we'll start with the squad. So I'm just going to share my screen like I always do. Same scenario, you know how this goes. So have a look at the squad in general. Let me just close that tab. And let me just close that video. Okay, so squad in general. Goalkeepers, Alisson. Obviously, we're on the verge of signing Mamardashvili, but he's going to go back out on loan to Valencia. I mean, he's already there, but he's going to stay at Valencia for another year, and then next year we're going to review that. It also looks like that deal also has a sell-on clause, which Valencia will get a cut if we sell him in the future. However, if we do send them back out on loan for a second year, that sell-on clause becomes invalid. Just to let you know, okay. There's a couple of things around the Mamardashvili piece which was interesting. We obviously looked at the option to loan him to Bournemouth, but we couldn't do that because legally you can't buy a player because he's actually bought by us and then loan him to another club. So he can't play for 2 clubs at once. And if he's registered as a Liverpool player, which he will be if we sign him, then we can't loan him because you can't buy a player and do 2. You can't go to 2 clubs in one window. So that's probably the reason why he's staying at Valencia. And also Valencia wanted time to buy another goalkeeper to replace him because they are losing their star goalkeeper. So it makes a lot of sense that he stays there. And to a certain extent, what if he went to Bournemouth and he didn't do well. Like, he didn't play well for the first like couple of games. Bournemouth will just simply put him on the bench, and that's not a good thing for us, because he might end up not getting as much game time, and we can physically see it. With Valencia, he's their star goalkeeper. He's always going to play, and he's also happy where he is and comfortable at playing for that club. I mean, if you just look at the last game that he played against Real Madrid, like, I know they got beat, but he pulled off some absolute worldies in that game. Like, just watch the highlights. So it makes a lot of sense to keep him happy and to keep him at a place where he's comfortable. And the fact that he's going to be Alisson's replacement in the next year or two is just future-proofing the squad, which I'm all for, by the way. And we're looking at a 27 million pound signing that could potentially cost 50 to 60. Like, he's that good. So I know we're not happy because doesn't go into our first team, but he doesn't go into our first team because we've got the best goalkeeper in the world, and he is potentially the best young goalkeeper in the world. So we're replacing the best goalkeeper in the world with the potentially the best goalkeeper in the world as his backup in the future. So as his replacement in the future. So I think it's a good bit of business. Um, I'm happy with it. I know he's not playing for us right now, but maybe we want to flick over and look at Valencia every now and again to see how he's getting on. Who knows? Anyway, so we got Alisson, Queven Keller. I think he's still up for sale, but I don't think there's any suitors, which really interests me because you would think there'd be some clubs that would want to sign him. I still think he might go at the end of the season. Sorry, at the end of the window. Um, Somebody might put a bid in for him, but 25 million, I think, is a good price for him. But it is what it is. But he's still with us. He's on low wages and he's a good backup. Jaros looks like a really good player who could be back up to Alisson anyway. So I think in the goalkeeper department we're set. Defenders wise, Connor Bradley, no issues. Gerald Quansett, no issues. Trent, no issues. I think his contract will happen soon. I believe the contract talk started before the Euros, so it's probably ongoing. And rumours are that he's going to be the highest paid Liverpool player ever with the biggest contract ever, which kind of makes a lot of sense. And he's our vice captain. He's potentially going to be captain after Virgil van Dijk leaves. Nat Phillips is still up for sale. Andy Robinson, I'd personally sell him if I'm honest, because I just can't see him being a backup, and I don't think he's good enough for us anymore. But at the moment, he's still a player for us. Kostas Tsimikas, I haven't really got an issue with him being backup. I think he's probably better than Robbo right now, if I'm honest. But the left side is a problem for me. I think we need reinforcements at left back. We're heavily linked with Hincapié and also Inacio, but also we've also been linked with Tuffret, who's the uh, French French left back who plays in Belgium, I believe. Does he play in Belgium? No, he doesn't. He plays in France. He played in the Olympics. He's highly rated. West Ham looked at him, I think it was last year. 15 million was his price. It'll probably cost about 25. And then also you've got Kupret, who's the Maxime Kupret, who's a Belgian international, who looks really good as well. So we are linked with left backs. Ait Nouri is also another left back we're linked with. We are linked with left backs, which is promising to see. Maybe we go a bit early on a left back after looking at how bad Robinson was in the first game. Canate, no issues. Virgil van Dijk, no issues. And then you've got Gomez. So players that are probably going to leave. Obviously, Sepp van der Berg's going. He wants to leave. He's really pushing to leave. There's currently two bids at 25 million between Brentford and Bayer Leverkusen. The Bayer Leverkusen bid has got nothing to do with Hincapié. So the Hincapié thing will be completely separate. Whether we go for him or not, I don't know. There's no swap or anything. But Van der Berg wants to leave. He doesn't want to be fifth choice backup. Fair play to him. For a guy we paid 4 million for and has never played a game, and we could get 25 million, I think it's incredible business. I just do. And that's money that goes back into transfers. And who knows? Who knows? If Van der Berg goes, I do think we need a centre back. But then Joe Gomez might not go because we might want to keep Gomez, or we might put Gomez's price up more. Gomez is now valued at 50 million, and the reason why is because of Max Kilman went for 45, and Gomez is a better player. He's more versatile. He's got England caps. You know, he's quite possibly he quite possibly gets into any defensive back four apart from City, Arsenal's, and Liverpool's. If you ask me, like obviously he's third choice left back, third choice right back, and fourth or fifth choice centre back for us. But he walks into any other team apart from City and Arsenal. Like he just does. Like he's that good. So it's interesting. So if I'm counting the back, the defenders, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, potentially 8. I think we need 9. I did talk about Nat Phillips yesterday on Anfield Road TV, and I mean, don't come at me in the chat over this, but Nat Phillips does remind me a bit of a player that Slot had at his previous club in Hancho. You know, he's a big guy. He likes to get involved. He's quite comfortable on the ball, but he's heavily involved in the grunt work. He might see Nat Phillips as an option, just as a big lad, to be able to just get stuck in with the muck and the nettles. I don't know. Nat Phillips is happy to stay at Liverpool by the looks of it. He's not pushing for a move. He's got another year left on his contract, so we might just see it out, and he's just an option at the back, like a real break glass option. So he could be the ninth choice in the defensive group of players. So I don't know. I don't know. Like personally, I think we need a left back. Like personally, Hincapié would be perfect because he can play centre back and he can play left back. That makes a lot of sense for me. It makes a lot of sense for me as well because if we signed him, he wouldn't necessarily think he's going to play straight away because he needs to be integrated because he's coming from a different country, different styles, coming from a back three into a back four. Makes a lot of sense that, he could eventually be the Virgil replacement, or he could eventually be the left back replacement. I don't know how that goes, but if we signed another left back and maybe sold Costas or Robbo, I'm fine. But that left back's probably going to be a starter. So you've got Tuffret, you've got Aït-Nouri, and you've also got Maxime Kupres. So that's 3 potentials as left backs. I'd be more than happy for maybe one of them to, integrate behind Costas for 20 games or so. And then you've got the likes of Virgil van Dijk, plays pretty much every game. Is Gomez going to be his backup? If he's not and he gets sold, then you've got 50 million burning in your pocket from the Gomez sale, 25 million from the Seth Van der Berg sale, and then potentially, any other sales, Bobby Clark's 10 million, maybe you add that 10 million onto it. So you potentially got, 70, 80, 90 million there to to spend on a left back and a centre back if you do go that way. It would be interesting because the money for Carvalho is probably, and the money for Carvalho and the money that we've got from the sale of Solanke has probably paid for Mamardashvili, which obviously we're not getting anything back for as a goalkeeper wise this season. So you kind of push that money out the way really, but then you've also got money that's being put aside anyway. So we were willing to pay 51 million for Zubimendi. So if you just put that Zubimendi money into a centre back that plays left back, then I think that pays for Hincapié, if I'm honest. Anyway, let me know what you think in the chat, but that's where I sit with the defenders. I think we need 9 at the moment. If Gomez and Van der Beek go, that leaves us with 8. Midfielder wise, Bobby Clark's obviously arrived at Salzburg for his medical. That got announced on Sky Sports yesterday night. He's getting off the plane, so Bobby Clark's gone. That's done. We're trying to loan Stefan Bajcetic out. We offered him to Valencia for Mamardashvili. We also offered him to Real Sociedad for Zubimendi. So we are trying to loan Stefan Bajcetic out so he can get some more game time, preferably in a Spanish club by the looks of it. So that potentially leaves us with Dominic Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Ryan Gravenberch, Tyler Morton, Trey Ione, and Wataru Endo. I don't think Wataru Endo is going to be sold now because I think he's happy to be a squad player. So that's a potential stay. Tyler Morton looks like he's staying. So it looks like it could be Bobby Clark, Stefan, which leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That leaves us with 8 midfielders for 3 slots. I still think we need one more. I still think we need a similar player to Zubimendi. You know, I still think we need maybe look at a Varela, maybe look at a Stiller, maybe look at an Edison, maybe go all out and try and get a Wharton. 2 of the players that we were linked with in the past were Boubacar Kamara and also Czech Decore. Those 2 guys are still very, like, one of them is injured still in Kamara, but Czech Decore is still only coming back from an injury, which was a snapped Achilles, which is horrendous and could take another 6 months to even know whether he's going to be the same player. Christian Benteke got a snapped Achilles and he never recovered. He always lost his pace. So it makes sense for me as well that we just go and pay the release clause for Varela. The Humland one, he's got an £80 million release clause. I just don't think it's going to happen. The Wharton one is interesting because they seem to be having a bit of a fire sale. Looks like Anderson's going to Fulham from Crystal Palace, and it looks like Newcastle have pulled out of the Mark Gahey deal. But it also looks like there's links that we're interested in him. Like, I can't see us paying 70 million for that guy when we could probably get Brathwaite for the same price. Like, I'd rather sign Jared Brathwaite. You know, at least with Jared Brathwaite, you know he's younger. You also know that he's in the area, which means there's no issue with the move. You know, Everton are in dire straits for money. You know, throwing 70 million at Everton would probably get Brathwaite out the door. Brathwaite's not an academy player, by the way. He didn't come from Everton's youth team. He came from Barnsley, I think, or a team like that, maybe a Darlington or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I think Brathwaite would be ideal. And it doesn't look like he's playing for them now. It looks like he might be pushing for a move. Liverpool have been muted at doing 4 massive deals at the end of the window. Brathwaite could be one of them. He plays left back as well, by the way. And so does Gahey, by the way. Gahey can play left back. So it's an interesting one. With the Gahey one, I get that as well. With the Gahey one, Gomez could be their replacement, but they have pretty much agreed terms with Maxime Lacroix from Wolfsburg, who's only 25 million. So they'll be getting a guy that they want who's cheaper. So if we spend 70 million on Gahey, we'd have to sell Gomez for the 50 million to kind of offset that. I don't think they would take Gomez because we want a lot of money for Gomez, by the way. Like if we're selling if we're buying Gahey, we're selling Gomez for similar price back to them. Like if that's how it works. So I just think it's interesting that. And obviously we're going to have a look. So how I see it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 midfielders. I think we need one more, so 9. So I think one more is needed. Attackers. Ooh, let me just do the attackers. So the forward line. Diaz, Nunes, Salah, Gakpo, Jota. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's fine. 5's enough. If you really needed to rest Salah, then you could put Diaz on the right and then bring Gakpo in. Like not an issue. Obviously, these are the players that have been loaned out: Kumas, Ramsey, Chambers, Stevenson, Morez, and Williams. And it looks like there's going to be a couple of outgoings in Seb van den Berg, Bobby Clark, and maybe Joe Gomez. So potential 3 sales. I mean, you could even put Nat Phillips in there as well because he's still up for sale, and obviously Queven Keller. So there's a few players that potentially leaving the club still. We can have a look at the under 21s. I don't think there's a huge amount in there. I would say Nallo is one which could potentially come in as a centre back option, like as a 8th or 9th choice centre back option. Owen Beck, I believe, will be sold. Callum Scanlon is also kind of a left back option as well. He had a good pre-season, if you ask me. However, he's available for loan. James McConnell will go on loan. Ben Doak's available for loan or sale. Jaden Danz is available for loan. And obviously, Kay Gordon is available for loan as well. And Harvey Blair is potentially being sold to Portsmouth, I believe. So there's potentially a lot of players that we're looking to move on. I'm now going to share this screen. Where are we? Is it this screen? Yeah, this screen. I'm going to share this screen. So this is from Ornstein yesterday. Obviously, Seth van der Berg's close to £25 million move to Brentford. There was rumours on Twitter yesterday that Seth van der Berg's been spotted in Brentford 2 days ago. So this deal could actually already be done. It could be a lot further down the line. And he could have already done his medical, or he could have already had contract talks at Brentford, and maybe the Bayer Leverkusen is just like a last ditch offer. So we'll see how that goes. Personally, I think he'd be more suited for Brentford. And the reason why I say that is Dutch defenders tend to not do particularly well in Germany, apart from Van der Ven, really. There's a lot of flops, if I'm honest, in Germany for Dutch defenders. Also, he'd be going to a team which have already got a lot of central defenders, and they play with a back three. So they've got 5 already, and they play with a back three. So is he going to get as many chances at Bayer Leverkusen than he would at Brentford, where Brentford have got 2 central defenders in Nathan Collins and Ben Mee, and AR, and then they've got Nathan Collins and Pinnock as backup. Well, Ben Mee's 35, Pinnock's 32. So Van der Beek could easily get in ahead of AR because AR's always injured, and I don't think he's that good either. So a back two pairing of Nathan Collins and Van der Berg with the likes of Ben Mee as backup seems like he could play for them, and if he applies himself well, then he can get into Thomas Frank's good books. Absolutely, Thomas Frank's Scandinavian as well, so you know that whole Scandinavian thing might actually work out well. Being European as well, play similar type of football. I think he'd be great there, if I'm honest. Um, it's interesting. It's interesting what came out about Brentford's other signing from us in Fabio Carvalho. If you didn't hear that, the reason why he didn't play the first game is because he didn't apply himself well in training, which has been a problem at Liverpool. Like it was noted that he was pretty slack in training, didn't put enough effort in. His attitude wasn't great. Um, maybe you're starting to see that at Brentford already, and maybe he's not going to be that starter at Brentford because of his attitude. Just saying, but we might well have dodged a bullet there. And 27 million is a great price to get for a guy that we paid 4 million for, and it looks like 25 million we're going to get for Van den Berg, who we paid 4 million for as well. So you know, Edwards 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 is back, but Hughes is running the show, and I mean it looks like he's doing a great job with player sales because we're getting great money for players that we didn't pay a lot of money for and also never played for us. So I just think we're kind of carrying on where Edwards left off really, and we're using the system, and a lot of these players were bought by them. Like obviously Seth Van der Beek was bought by Edwards. I don't think Carvalho was. Um, Carvalho might well have been. I can't remember now. But yeah, just giving you an update on that. Bobby Clark. This is Bobby Clark arriving for his medical. I'm not really going to share that screen in case I get copyright. The Mamadashvili piece I was going to cover here. So this was yesterday. Yeah, so this one's pretty much done and dusted. This will be announced in maybe a day or two. So it's 30 million euros, which is probably about 27 million. And he stays at Valencia, which means we probably save money on that deal because I believe Bournemouth were going to pay 4 million to us for that loan. So we're just probably taking the 4 million off the actual price. So that's why it's probably going to go for 27 million, 28 million instead of 35, which is what they wanted. I also wanted to touch on Reece Williams, just getting rid of players. So Reece Williams has gone to Morecambe. So there's another player that's been hanging around the squad for years that we got rid of, which is great news. Also wanted to touch on this, which is in a Spanish outlet, which is basically about Hincapié. 42.6 million is the price for him, apparently. So he was linked with Tottenham, but he doesn't want to go to Tottenham. And Atletico Madrid, I don't think they've got the money to sign him right now because they've just bought Gallagher and they've also bought a couple of other players. They bought Lenormand from Real Sociedad, the Spanish international. So I don't think they require him now. But we've been linked with Nkapie for a while, and he would be someone who's definitely on our radar. And as it says, he can be effectively deployed as left back, and he was in the Copa America um, for Ecuador. So we'll see how that one goes. And he wants to leave the club, so that's always good. Another one is obviously the Nkapie piece again. Atletico Madrid are keen on him, but they've obviously signed Normand, Alvarez, and Slaughter, and also they're about to get Gallagher as well. So I think they'll be spent. If I'm honest, I don't think they'll have any money left. Yeah, so that was the bit on that. I also wanted to talk about the Gahey piece. I just wanted to kind of run his stats over with you. So obviously we've been linked with Mark Gahey again. It looks like that deal with Newcastle's probably fell through because they want 65 million straight, and Newcastle weren't willing to pay 65 million up front. They wanted to do like 55 and 10 million add-ons and stuff like that, and it's all a bit all over the place, and they weren't happy with it. But I just wanted to show you the Gahey numbers. So obviously Gahey, he's played 99 games for Palace already, which is quite a bit. Konate's only paid 52 for us, and Gahey's been with Palace less than Konate. Gahey scored a couple of goals, 116 tackles, 55% ratio. This is at Palace, by the way. You know, this is a team that's in the bottom half of the table most of the time. 405 duels won, 94 interceptions. Obviously, they have to do a lot more defending. Obviously, Virgil van Dijk numbers are just mental, as they always are. But it's Konate's that I wanted to put up against tackles. 90 tackles for Konate, 64% higher, less duels, less interceptions. Gahey is a great player that could be an option, but I'm just not sure whether we're willing to spend that much money for a guy that's going to compete with Konate, because he's not going to compete with Virgil van Dijk. So he's up against Konate. So do we spend that kind of money on a guy that's up against Konate? And also you've got Quansah there as well. So that's why I just don't think we'd spend that money. I think we'd probably buy a left back that can play centre back. So he's going to be a left back, but he can also fill in as a left-sided centre back if we need him to. So I just wanted to put that out there. What else have we got? Yeah, so I've got this update on where is it? It's from Florent Plettenberg. Yes, here. So Florent Plettenberg claims so Liverpool's price is now 25 million, and it's gone up because Bundesliga champions have been quoted that, and they've matched that. So apparently, two teams, both at 25 million. It's up to Vandenberg where he wants to go now. Also wanted to cover the Gomez thing. So Gomez is on Aston Villa's radar. I mean, the Gomez thing makes a lot of sense for Villa because they've got a guy there who's not been great for them. he's been injured a lot, the Brazilian. He will go in to replace him, but they need to get rid of him, and he could be. Well, he was on the radar of Fulham, but Fulham have now signed. Well, they're about to sign Anderson, so Diego Carlos. So that's going to be an interesting one. They need to get rid of Diego Carlos to replace him with Gomez. And the interesting thing about Gomez as well, Gomez went through the academy with Conce at Charlton, so they know each other really well. So linking those two up would be good for Villa, and it'd also be good for Gomez because he'd be first team again, and also the fact that he's closer to London. So I just think that's an interesting one as well to look at. You know, that might be one that develops at the end of the window. We don't want to sell Gomez, by the way, and we've said to him we don't want to sell you, but we can't guarantee him first football, and we've rated him at 50 million now. So it is what it is. I didn't know Palace had already signed him. If they have, then obviously that's going to be the Anderson replacement. So maybe Gahey's not going anywhere. He's just been made captain as well, Gahey. Murillo's still at Forest because they want like 80 million for him. Like they want a crazy amount of money for him. They paid like 12 million. Like you can't demand that much money for a guy that's like just literally survived relegation. Like he's not worth it. Like I'm sorry. Like you can't demand huge amounts of money for players that haven't done anything. Like you survived relegation. Like how can you say your player's worth 80 million? It's bonkers. You paid 12 for him. Like the most you'll get is 30, probably. Crazy. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. Also, it was announced yesterday that Chelsea aren't in the deal, aren't looking at Joe Gomez. So that one's completely off the. Yeah, that one's bogus, really. There was stuff yesterday which said that Gomez could replace Badia Steele, but that's way off the mark. So that's not going to happen. I've done the Ornstein bit. I've done Villa. I'm just closing some tabs. 2 seconds. Goalkeeper, Bobby Clark. Atletico Madrid, that's gone. Chelsea, that's gone. What's this? I thought this was quite funny. Where is it? So this was in the Liverpool Echo. Where is it? So I'm giving you a complete live update now from the Liverpool Echo, which is where I get a lot of stuff from. So where is it? So the Vandenberg piece. So PC's wall will get 600 and they will get 590,000 if he moves to Bayer Leverkusen, which is an incredible amount of money for a team, which like just they don't get a lot of money, so they'll get a big cash windfall. Also, L'Equipe have said that we're monitoring Adrian Rabiot. I don't think that's going to happen. He wants 230 grand. Neil Critchley's been sacked by Blackpool. A lot of ex-Liverpool managers have been sacked. Ex-Liverpool coaches and managers have been sacked. We're linked with another goalkeeper, which I highly doubt that's going to happen. I think that's come from Spain for to basically make Arsenal bid for him quicker. Mamardashvili's almost done. I can't listen to Chris Sutton. He's just an idiot. I'm sorry. Rafa Benitez talking about stuff. Not interested. So Anderson's about to close a move to Fulham. So they're going to get 30 million. So it looks like Palace might be looking at Gomez. I mean, they'll have money, but I don't know whether Gomez will go to Palace, you know. But I don't think Mark Gahey will leave if he goes. If Anderson goes, I don't think Mark Gahey's going to be leaving. I think they'll do everything to keep him. Also, if you didn't know, the Eze release clauses ended, so they can demand how much they want for Eze now, which I think's really interesting because that might put a lot of teams off. So the Vandenberg deal's going to happen in the next 24 hours, which is great news because that's a lot of money, which we're probably going to spend. Obviously, Inacio's come back up again, and also Adrian Truffert. I mean, if we sign both, that would be amazing. That would be amazing if we sign both. We sign a Portuguese international who's he should definitely leave. He is good enough to leave Sporting and go to a big club. He is. Like, there isn't a better progressive passer in world football on the left side of centre back than this guy. There really isn't. He is wonderful on the ball, really cultured. I mean, he's been a Sporting now for 4 years, and he's won 2 titles and 2 cups. Like, he's ready for a move, and if we could get him for 38 million, which is apparently the number, I just think that's a great bit of business, and we could integrate him in slowly, so we could eventually replace Virgil van Dijk in a year's time. Because I genuinely believe Virgil could go on a free. I just do. I feel like someone's going to stay. It's probably going to be Trent and Salah. I'm not sure about Virgil. Really don't think. I think all the chattering and all of the murmurs about him, he might want one more big move. I think him and Alisson might go next year. I think they might want one more big move before they retire, and that could be a Real Madrid or Barcelona. It could be. Like, I'm just saying. Inacio, obviously. What else have we got? Yeah, we're linked with. Virgil van Dijk's been put into the PFA Premier League Team of the Year. He's the only Liverpool player. Also, Phil Foden won the PFA Player of the Year award. Linked with Tuffert, who had a great Olympics, 5 appearances, and he won a silver medal. He plays for Stade Rennes. He's a good player. He's a very good player. I think he's 23. Obviously linked with Inacio again. Loads of stuff in. Interesting thing what Eddie Howe came out with, basically saying that he may need to sell more players. So that was an interesting one. This one's interesting as well. How do you feel about this guy? Would you like him as a stopgap in midfield? He wouldn't cost a huge amount of money, and he wants to leave. Goalkeeper. How do you feel about that? Would you like him as your midfielder who can do defensive work? No thanks. 57 you in here. Any thoughts on Goalkeeper, who's been a good player? Like, no doubt, he's been a great player for Bayern Munich. He scored a lot of goals, a lot of assists, been quite influential in how they've played, and always been ever present in the midfield. Don't fancy him. 29, could get him pretty cheap as a stopgap. Might be able to move Endo on then. Let me know what you think in the chat. Don't care what Ali McCoy talks about. It's garbage. Hincapié again, obviously. He's not going to Tottenham. Williams has gone. Souness is talking garbage about Salah. I like Souness, but he talks garbage about Salah all the time. You think he's got some kind of issue with people. Carragher, I couldn't care what Carragher says. This was funny. There was a poll on Liverpool fans who they'd like as their next owner, and 31% out of 50, sorry, over 50% said Ryan Reynolds. What do you think of that? Would you like Ryan Reynolds to own Liverpool? What do you think of that in the chat? Funny. Is that no thanks to Ryan Reynolds, or is that no thanks to Goalkeeper? Don't see the point in replacing Endo with someone else a similar age. Well, I know it's a similar age, but Goalkeeper is a very good player, like very good player. No, okay, fair enough. I can see you're new here. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. If you do subscribe to the channel, Live an Adventure, please let me know in the chat, and we'll give you a welcome. Anyone else here, Freedom Journey? I'm not sure I've seen you here before. If you do like and subscribe as well, mate, we'll give you a welcome as well. Anyone else who's new here, hasn't subscribed? Jan Hannah, you look new as well. If you haven't subscribed, please do, and we'll give you a welcome as well. Big up. Big up. You're already a subscriber. Okay, so wanted to cover a couple more things. Obviously, this one's interesting. So this is a player who plays for Rennes as well, by the way. Same as the guy, Tufret. So this guy is called Azor Matazawi, or Matazawa, if you haven't heard of him. His numbers are pretty insane. Josh Williams on who does a lot of stat stuff. He does a lot of stat stuff on the Red Men TV, and also the On-Field Wrap. I think he's absolutely brilliant. Josh Williams, big up Josh. He recommended this guy. He said all the data, this guy will be a brilliant number 6. So I'll show you some of his numbers here. Where is he? Here he is. Okay, so the report gives Matswawi a 97.9% similarity to Zubimendi, which is second on the list behind Lazio star Danilo Cataldi. While signing any of these players as an alternative, Zubimendi remains unlikely. So if you're looking at an alternative to Zubimendi in numbers, then this guy would be your fit. And he's 23. He's 23, and they signed him for, I think it was 12 million last year. But this is an alternative, and he's a beast. If you haven't heard of him, check him out. But I'm just giving you new names, and this one fits with the stats. And if we're looking at data, then that's what Hughes and Edwards do. They look at the data. I also wanted to give you this stat as well, which I think is crazy, by the way. And you can say what you want about the first half. The first half was pretty stinky, but we didn't score. They didn't score, and we didn't concede any big chances, which is huge. And our goalkeeper didn't have to make any world-class saves, which is huge. But this cannot be understated. This is a record. Okay, nobody has had more than 50 touches in the opposition's box since Opta was created in 2008, 2009 in the Premier League. Like, can we just overstate how important that is? Like, absolutely mental numbers. That is the difference between Slot and Klopp. We get the ball in the box repeatedly now. Repeatedly. Like, we had 16 chances and 12 of them were in the box. Like, you don't understand how big this is. Like, and this is with a team which are still integrating into the system. I'm kind of lost for words for how big I think our next couple of years are going to be. Like, I genuinely believe there's going to be a, a, a dynasty of the old, the old way from a Shankly to Paisley. I really do. Like, I really do. Like, everything about this guy just sits well with me. Everything about him. Like, hauling players off to make a statement because you weren't pulling your weight, as in the team wasn't pulling the weight. He's certainly not going to take Van Dijk off, is he? But the next guy he can. And he could have took off McAllister, he could have took off Robertson, he could have took off Sabolsai. There was a number of players he could have took off who were garbage in the first half. But he's seen a weakness, and the weakness was the aerial threat from Delap, who was knocking the ball down, and a lot of balls were going diagonal to them. I get it's Ipswich. I get it's Ipswich. But Ipswich never lost a game at home last season. They never lost a game. Like, they finished on 98 points. They scored 98 goals. Like, they were a good team in the Championship. But to have 50 touches in the opposition box is a big deal. Yeah, I know. That's a good point. I think Jota can. I think Jota can if he's fit. Anyway, I thought I'd show you that, which I thought you might be interested in. Have we got anything else to add? I think we've pretty much covered everything. So pretty much in a nutshell, what I'll do is I'll just wrap up. So in general, next couple of days, Seth van der Berg will leave. Joe Gomez, the rumours will increase. Then you've got the likes of Bobby Clark will go. That'll be announced tomorrow. So potentially 2 players will be off the books tomorrow. That'll be 35 million in the bank. That'll be put towards another player potentially. There'll be more links to other players coming up. Obviously, we'll be prepping for the Brentford game. Joe Gomez is in contention for that game, by the way, so he's trained. So it's an interesting one. I'd be more than happy to play Gomez as our left back this season. Like I don't want Gomez to leave, by the way. I'd be more than happy for him to play our left back. But if he wants to be a first team player and he wants to be a first team centre back, I don't think he's going to be that at Liverpool with the likes of Virgil van Dijk, Konate, and Quansah. There's too much competition. But if we do get rid of Gomez and Sepp goes and Nat Phillips goes, then we need a centre back. And I understand why we're linked with centre backs. So Hincapié, Inacio, Mark Gahey, they're all guys that will be high on my list. And then potentially, linked with midfielders and then also linked with left backs. There has been a few links to strikers, but I don't see anything in that. Potentially Bakayoko, but I think that's probably going to be a next year signing. But five forwards is enough with Jayden Danns as well. I think the midfields needs one more. I think the defence needs one more at centre back, and then one more at left back. So potentially, I feel we probably need 3 players, and we've obviously about to get a goalkeeper over the line, but that's irrelevant. So potentially 3 players. Let me know what you think in the chat. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please do. I think I've got a new subscriber here as well. Welcome, Mickey. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you subscribing. I'm just going to check if Jamie is doing his show at 1, and if he is, jump over to his channel and just write Jamie, just write KMac Raid in the chat. But I'm just going to check 2 seconds to see whether he's live. He might not be. Let me see, is he live? No, he's not. He's live at 1:30. Okay, we can carry on now. You don't think Bakayoko now? Even if we gave him another year at PSV, like if he does another year at PSV and they win the league again, and maybe they do a bit better in the Champions League, scores more goals, assists, he's 23 then. You don't think he's an option? Jane Dan's on loan. I'm not sure we'd be able to get him on loan because I think he's injured. Like, I don't know the rules with injured players on loan, like whether we could send him on loan while he's injured. And I'm not sure when the loan window closes, because I think we've only got like 10 days left, haven't we, till the window shuts. If we got Hincapié and Edison, I'd be happy. I would. I'd be happy if we signed those 2. I would, because Hincapié can do 2 jobs. I'd be very happy if we got those 2. That would make me feel a lot better. It really would. 100%. And it's not a huge amount of money. So I'm sat here scratching my head thinking, we're selling all these players. Like, we're selling all these players. There's clearly money there. Like, go and get Hincapié and Edison. It's going to cost you less than 100 million. Like, it's a bit frustrating. I've got to be honest. Like, I've sat here and gone and seen the positives and gone, yeah, there's options there and players can do this. But we are literally selling players left, right, and centre. Like, if Gomez goes, Hincapié or Inacio have to be signed. One of those has to come in. They just do. Like, it has to happen. Like, I can't be having Liverpool being left with Andy Robertson and Kostas Tsimikas as our left backs. I just can't be having it. Like, they weren't good enough last year. They weren't good enough the year before. They're not going to be good enough this year. Like, we've already seen in the Ipswich game how bad Robinson was. He was all over the place. Like, it's a big, big worry for me. Like, we might be able to deal with the centre midfield issue. Like, we might be able to mitigate that with the likes of Gravenberch and McAllister and Endo, even Tyler Morton being able to play a more defensive role. But the left back is just glaring. It's glaring. Unless Gomez is that left back. Unless Gomez is that left back. But if Gomez goes, you've got your third choice right back gone, you've got your fourth choice centre back gone, and you've got your third choice left back gone, all in one player. So you need to replace him. You need to replace him. And I would have kept Sepp van der Berg as a centre back option. Like, I think he's good enough. But you can't turn down 25 million for a guy that's going to be fourth choice or fifth choice. You just can't. You just can't turn down that money. You can't turn down 27 million for a left winger that's going to be third choice. Like, you just can't do that. Like, you can't turn down 10 million for a guy that said he wants to leave in Bobby Clark, and he's going to be ninth choice centre midfielder. Like, you just can't. So the fact that there's nothing on the left side that's been done is just scandalous. And that's the one that really gets me. And that's the one that I don't understand with Slot. Like Slot should literally be saying to Hughes, get me a left back, get me a left back, or get me a centre back that can play left back. Like this is a priority now. Like I don't know. It is what it is. But it would concern me if we leave ourselves short there. And we haven't sold Owen Beck. I know that. And Owen Beck's a very good left back who I would like to see get a chance. But he's clearly not being seen as a guy that can do that job. So he's available. So he might go. He's also in the last year of his contract. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But if we sell all these players and we don't sign anyone, I will be annoyed. Like, and I've sat there and seen the positives about some of the players we've sold. Like, yeah, we probably should get rid of him. But if we're getting rid of Gomez as well, and we're not giving ourselves anyone as backup, that's a big worry. That leaves us too short. That leaves us down to if Konate gets injured, and then you've got Quansah, you've got Nat Phillips on the bench. You've literally got Nat Phillips on the bench as your backup. You can't. That can't happen. Like we can't be down to Nat Phillips being on the bench for games. Like because one centre back's been injured, like or being sent off. Like that's a worry. Like centre back, left back, midfield. Like we need one in each, or if one to do both at the back and one in midfield. Two is a minimum for me. Two is a minimum. Like the right wing, we can deal with. We can deal with the right wing. We just can. Like there's an option to play Dom there. There's an option to play Elliot there. There's an option to play Diaz over there and then switch Gapco. There's options there. Like that's not an issue for me. But that midfield position, if we get rid of Stefan, we get rid of Endo, or if we get rid of Endo, then that needs replacing straight away. Like if Endo goes, we 100% need a defensive midfield type player to come in. 100%. Stefan Matesic isn't ready to play 30 games. He just isn't. So we need one there definitely. And the attack I'm fine with. We've got 5 attackers for 3 positions. I'm okay with that. There's things that can be done there. That midfield need one more. That centre back we need one more, and left back definitely. Like if Gomez goes, then I'm literally saying that money just needs to be spent on a guy to come in and do that job. Like it does. It just needs to be spent. Like there's no we'll wait or we'll see how fit. No, you need someone to come in straight away. Like someone needs to be there to cover that position. And the midfield, you know, Zubamendi, there's still talks that we're probably still talking to him. Like his manager came out and said that he might still leave. Like Moreno to Arsenal still isn't done. Like, are you talking about Gordon from our team or Gordon from Newcastle? I don't think Anthony Gordon will come to Liverpool because they want too much money for him, and I also don't think Anthony Gordon can play on the right side. He's not good. Like he's left-sided. Like we're fine for the left side. If Endo or Gomez leaves and we don't replace them, I am kicking off. Like I will do a show on it. Like you have my word. I will be annoyed. Like I understand players coming in, and I've said this before. Like we sign players, but players have to go. Like you don't just sign a load of players and then you keep everybody else. Like which is why I'm saying if Gomez goes, we need a replacement. If Endo goes, we need a replacement. Like I've never not said that. Like, but like if Bobby Clark goes, we don't need a replacement. Like if Nat Phillips goes or Seth Van der Beek, we don't need a replacement. But if Gomez goes, we need a replacement. Like whether those two stay or not, like it's a first team player. Like so that's where I stand. Like if Diaz goes, we need a replacement. Like, it's just a fact. Like, if Nunes goes, we need a replacement. Like, that's what I'm trying to get across. Like, there's 80 of you in here now. It looks like we've really picked up. If you could like and subscribe, that'd be great. I'll do another 10 minutes and then you can probably flip over to Jamie's show. I don't think I'll be joining Jamie's today because I've got to go back to work. He was supposed to start at 1, so I was probably going to jump over and do half an hour with him, but I won't be able to do that now. But yeah, let me know in the chat, like, who would you like as a left back who could cover centre back as well? Because that's probably what we're looking at in the chat. And also, what are your suggestions on a midfielder? Like, who would you like as a midfielder? Would you like a guy that comes in and plays, or would you like a guy that would be a backup option, like an Endo? Like, and obviously Gravenberch is the starter, and then we have someone to back him up. Let me know in the chat. Like, personally, there's a lot of players out there, like, but there's a lot of players that we're being linked with that are probably going to be starters. Like, they want to be starters. Man City a bid for Kygo. Wow. Matt O'Reilly and Kygo are going. Chelsea will rate Liverpool for fringe players like Beck and Doak. That's fine. They can have those two. I wouldn't mind Matt O'Reilly myself. He scored like 20 odd goals, didn't he, last season? Like, he looks like a decent player. That's interesting. Inacio would do. Alan Varela in midfield, absolutely. And they're both players that we could get. They've both got release clauses as well, Scottish. Like, literally, we could just go in and take both of them. Inacio, 38 million. I mean, if he really wants to kick off about the release clause, I think it's 50. And then Varela's 60 million. Like, just go in and get them. Like, that's the money that we bid for Caicedo. Like, so we've clearly got money that we can spend. So just go and get both. Done. Like, done deal. Bastoni, geez, Bastoni. Bastoni starts. Like, and he isn't going to play as a left back. He's going to be playing. He's going to be playing next to Virgil. Like, I think Bastoni would be a great replacement for Virgil in the future. So maybe future proofing next year. I don't know. But he certainly isn't going to be one that you could integrate. He would want to start. And he's possibly the best centre back in the world behind a Virgil and a couple of others maybe. I think Stella's a great player as well. His numbers are brilliant. Left back, Gahey, 6, Kone, Wharton or Edison. I don't think Gahey will come as a left back though. I think he probably want to play as a centre back. It's an interesting one. Inacio, I mean, I think you've been on the Inacio train for a long time, like me, mate. Not sure on Varela. Interesting. Left back, Gahey. Yeah, no. Still think we need a 6 left back of it. Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like we're losing Mo and Virgil. Yeah, I think we are. I think we are, mate. I think they've been given the all clear that they can leave on a free transfer at the end of next year. Perfect window with Bastoni, Gameres. Blimey, that's a window, isn't it? That's like, so Bastoni's 100 million, Gameres is 120, Ain't Nori's 50, and Rodrigo's 150. That's, yeah, get your money out, get your checkbook out. I'm going to end the show now. Okay. Great to see everyone in here. 75 you in here. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe, please do. I'm going to check how many I'm currently on subscribers. I'm 5 away from 500. I don't ask for much. Like, if you can all hit subscribe, if you haven't, I need 5 people. Massive thanks, Forever LFC. great to have you on board. I need 5 subscribers to hit 500. If I could do that, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't. That would be wonderful to get 500 here now, and I can kind of do a big celebration here with you. So if you haven't hit the subscribe, please do. I need 5 more to hit 500. Scraps, man, you crack me up. Pick up. Yes, okay, I need 4 more. Come on, we could do it. We could do it. We're doing this live. It's like a telethon. Remember them? Yeah, it's like a subscriber-thon. Big up, Douglas. Welcome to the channel. Welcome for subscribing. All right, I'm gonna end it now. I know the Gundogan thing is crazy. It's crazy that they're getting him back after a year. Like the stuff that Barcelona does is mad. Like swap deals and not paying people's wages. And have you seen the new camp? The pictures of the new camp. Like that's why Barcelona got no money. Have you seen it? It looks unbelievable. Like they'll start getting the money back once people start flooding back into that place. Big up, Thomas. Great to have you here. How many do I need now? Oh, I'm 3 away. I'll tell you what, we'll leave it. I'm not going to beg people, okay? I'm not going to beg people. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. I'm 3 away from 500, which is a brilliant target for me. It'd be great if you can. If you all jump onto Jamie's, which is about to start in 10 minutes, just write in there KMAC raid. I haven't sent you over because I haven't got the options to do that, and I don't actually know how to do that, if I'm honest. I'll have to find out. But yeah, if you flip over to Jamie's, I'm going to put his video link in the chat now. So if you just go straight over to his and go and watch his show and just write Jamie Raid. Actually, is that the video? Yeah, it's the video. Yeah, if you just write Jamie Raid, don't write Jamie Raid, write KMAT Raid, and I will catch you again in the next couple of days when I'm going to do another preview for the Brentford game, and I'll have Endsman on that show to do that preview. Okay, I'm going to start having guests, so you'll be listening to a preview from me and Endsman in the next couple of days, and that'll get posted up on my channel. And you have a wonderful day. We're probably going to sell more players. Up the Reds.